Hey, today I'm talking about just the math of being driven by hate and anger and outrage. And we've seen things going on. You can't be on social media without seeing very polarized views of lots of different things. And people get really upset. They get very outraged. They get very angry and offended. And this is a strong place that people often associate with making a lot of change from. Now, and I just want to break it down into like just simple mathematics of why this may not be the best idea if we want change. So let's look. The problem, we often believe that the problem is the other person's view. I've heard people say that's a very dangerous way to think. You are wrong. You shouldn't believe that way. They're jerks for even believing that way at all. And my problem on some level is your fault. And these are all supernatural. Of course, we're going to believe that. We've been taught to believe that. We've been doing it for years and years. And so the solution would naturally be to try to change the other party or the other view, right? We need to change them. We need to convince them of why they're wrong. We need to change their thoughts, their beliefs, their actions, their feelings. And sometimes we even resort to shaming, trying to shame them into changing or blaming them into changing. But really what we've done when we get to that point is we're rejecting them for not being accepting or more accepting, and we're judging them for judging. That it just doesn't work so well. It's very normal though. Super normal. We do it all the time and we've been taught to do it, and it happens all around us. And it's totally fine. Some people like working from a place of outrage and anger, but I want to offer that is that really the best way to make a difference. Now, a lot of times when people hear this, they're like, so what am I supposed to do? Just do nothing? Just say nothing and let other people just say what they want and say things that are wrong or harmful? And I want to say that boundaries are the things that happen in these kind of situations, and boundaries are extremely action driven. Boundaries are where we decide what we're going to tolerate and what we're not. And sometimes there are things that we legitimately do not want to tolerate in our families, in our countries, in our civilizations. But we want to look at what's fueling our action when we set boundaries and the action that we take from boundary, like as we're setting boundaries. Look at what if the thoughts are the fuel, then the feelings are the engine. What do we want driving the action that comes next? Because let's look at what we're hoping for. If the action that we're really hoping for is something like we all have a voice, we all get to speak, we get to speak our truth and have that freedom to do that. We want people to be treated well and fairly. We want to know our reasons. We want other people to know their reasons. We want to grow. My coach says you can be right or you can grow. So in there even needs to be the possibility of being wrong on some level or not understanding everything. But if thoughts are fuel, the action that we take from the place of my cause is more just or more righteous or more right, and they are wrong, the action that we're going to be taking will probably not, it will just be more of the same of what we don't want from them, right? And so I will be being judgmental and rejecting if I'm not willing to go to a place that is somewhere other than anger to make my change. So, and also if you look at it, a lot of times we're like, well, I will change when they do this. When they treat people better, then I'll treat them better. And when they act like this, then I will step up my game. But what we're doing is living in reactivity. So a lot of times the people who are just reacting out of anger, and they get angry at something and then they just completely act having no awareness to what thoughts created that for them, then we are jumping on that roller coaster with them and we're reacting along with them. The alternative is to live intentionally. This is where we get to be peaceful. We get to feel accepting. We get to feel unified regardless of what the other person does because we're managing our minds. This is the key to peace and happiness and unity and acceptance. It's managing our minds. And that takes some work. It takes looking at what kind of fuel are we putting in our engine. Is my engine in reverse or is it in forward? Like we gotta be driving on the road that we want to be going to. And a lot of times we believe that the hate road, the anger road, the outrage road takes us to where we want to be. But if you look, it's actually the opposite. All we're doing is adding more hate, anger, fear, offense, outrage to the world. And that is the way that creates results that are more of the same. So what do? If when we're managing our minds, we're watching really carefully what kinds of thoughts we're thinking that can help us to get to a feeling that will drive good, healthy action that we feel really good about. And that's the math that I was talking about. So break it down. If you're feeling angry and outraged, and that's where you usually set boundaries from in your marriage, with your kids, with your coworkers, with your boss, with yourself. It's very hard to heal something that you hate. So if we want to heal our communities, if we want to heal our families, we're going to need to pull ourselves into some thoughts that create feelings that generate amazing action that actually gets the results that we're looking for, which is probably peace, unity, acceptance. We just don't get that from hate, do we? We can't hate people into loving. We got to do the other way around. Okay, so I know that this is kind of a tall order. It's a big ask. If you're not used to watching the thoughts that are creating your experience, if you don't believe yet that your thoughts create your experience, this is going to be very challenging. But that's what I do. It's my jam. I'm good at it. If you would like to see how you can start healing relationships with your friends, with your spouse, with your kids, whoever it is, with yourself, with something else generating you that feels better to you, that doesn't punish you for someone else's behavior, please give me a call. We can talk about how coaching can help you and why what you're trying now just isn't working. Okay, good luck. I hope you go out and love some people today. Love some haters.